Hi guys, I wanted to share one of my favorite meditation techniques with you. This one is really helpful when you are perhaps struggling to connect in a meditation, or perhaps you just struggle with meditation in general. I think that in our very busy lives, it's almost physically impossible sometimes to get into a very meditative state and to maintain it for anything more than, a minute at a time. So for me, I like to practice meditation in a way that's very grounded and embodied. So in other words, feeling myself very centered and the connection with all the elements that exist around us. And in that way, it really pulls my focus in nicely and helps me to kind of center and to ground any nervous energy or any, sort of just really focus using that support of the elements in the earth. So this particular meditation kind of came to me completely randomly. I was doing a meditation, it must have been about a year ago, and I felt this meditation almost happen to me. I actually felt myself transforming into this flower, and I had this incredible, very, very deep experience. And since then, I practice this from time to time. And this afternoon, I had just made a fire for myself. It's the middle of November, so it should be pretty hot, but it's actually really cold today. And I've just made a fire, and I was sitting here, and the heat of the fire, the warmth, just sparked that memory in me of this meditation. So I did it for a while, and then I thought I would quickly hop on and share it with you all. So essentially, the overarching sort of description of this meditation, so you can try it yourself a little later, is you want to envisage yourself transforming into a beautiful water lily. So I prefer the connection. For me, this isn't really as much of a lotus as it is a water lily. They are actually apparently part of the same family, but in this particular one, I feel that the energy of the water lily is very gentle, and it's something that's the way the meditation came to me. And I also, maybe this is just a personal thing, but I feel like the lotus is often, it's almost become a slight like spiritual cliche or new age cliche. We don't really relate to it because it's a term that's used so often. So the water lily for me is really a flower I absolutely love. It is my dream to have a pond filled with water lilies. That's still a work in progress, but it's a flower that I just find absolutely just so magical and beautiful. And what I love so much about it is that it exists in perfect harmony with all the elements. So it's obviously resting on the surface of the water. It's got that deep stem which goes sometimes, a meter or 2 meters through the water until it reaches the bottom of the pond or the stream, wherever it is, and then it roots down through the earth, and in that way it maintains its connection to the earth. And it's got a very strong stem. If you've ever seen a water lily stem, it's relatively thick, and that gives it that strong anchoring and support in sometimes waters that could be rather turbulent, and strong winds. So it's a flower that truly does sit and exist in harmony with all the elements. Actually, one of the few examples of something so perfectly balancing all the elements for me. So what you want to do is, I like to do this one sitting on the ground and sitting cross-legged. And you're going to take a few deep breaths just to really feel your body, feel yourself sitting in this position. And you can close your eyes and imagine yourself transforming into a beautiful water lily. So you can feel the tips of some of the petals that are still closed, perhaps at your crown. You can feel the petals open up around you. I've even used my crossed legs in front of me to also represent the very open petals that are like lying around me like a beautiful skirt. And beyond that, you can imagine yourself sitting on a huge green lily pad. And then beyond that, of course, the shimmering waters. So you want to set up your visualization when you start, and really just take some time to fill in the details. Think about where would the stamen and the pollen be in your body. How do the petals feel around you? What does the water feel like if you take your hands? Can you feel the lily leaf? What texture does it have? How does it feel to really, be in this shape? And then what you want to start to do is to breathe in. I like to breathe in through the crown, breathe down into the heart. And then as you breathe out, feel that energy. So you want to feel the warmth of the sun and the beautiful oxygen in the air really filtering into you, held in your heart. And then as you breathe out, feel that energy going down through you, out the base of the spine, and feel it traveling through that beautiful lily stem all the way down until it meets the earth. And you want to feel that energy really going out like the roots of the plant into the mud, into the earth, and going down deep. And then when you breathe in, you want to feel the vitality, the nutrients, the energy from the earth coming up through the roots, into the stem, through the waters, and back up into you. And as you breathe out, you want to feel that just really you're giving off your beauty. Lilies have a really beautiful scent, and actually lotus perfume was one of the perfumes that have been used in the world for thousands of years. The ancient Egyptians, vials of lotus oil was found with them. It's a very, very sacred scent because it's so precious and really beautiful. So you want to feel that energy coming into you, and then really just feel yourself radiating. And you want to keep doing this a couple of times. So you're really pulling the energy down through your body into the earth, and then pulling the earth's energy up through the water, through your body and out. And once you've done this a couple times, you can feel how long you need in order to really feel grounded. You just want to come to a resting position. I like to keep my hands up and open, really representing again those beautiful petals. And just spend a few moments, feel yourself gently swaying in the breeze. Feel that softness of the water underneath you. Feel the deep rootedness of that stem holding you through waters. Waters represent change, going with the flow, change of direction and tide. So waters are often the things in our life that cause us to feel emotion and turbulence. We talk about turbulent waters. It's because the waters can be very, very powerful, but that stem and that root is strong enough to really hold you and anchor you down into the earth. And the same thing with the air element. Often, right now outside, as I say this video, there are gale force winds. It's extremely windy outside, and the wind can also be very destructive. So this rootedness has the ability to really ground us through strong winds, turbulent waters. And of course, the strong winds metaphysically represent the quickness of our mind, sometimes nervous energy, anxiety. It's that fast-paced world that we live in today. I think we can all relate to that. So sometimes the world is very mental. We are on our phones, we are involved with work and a lot of intellectual stuff, and that would really represent the air element in our lives. So often we're very, very air and very much fire and air driven, and we're not giving enough water, we're not giving enough earth as supports. So it's good to spend some time really when you're doing this, just considering where in your life perhaps you need more water, perhaps you need less heat or more warmth or a bit more grounding. So it's in that way you can start to really diagnose yourself energetically and start to focus on areas where you perhaps need a boost. So for me, this meditation, it's a very active meditation. It's a tool to enable us to really balance and to harmonize our own inner energies. And what I really, last thing I'm going to say about this is that beautiful scent that the flower gives off, that perfume and fragrance is something which transcends ordinary day-to-day reality. There's a beauty and a grace that is in that scent, and each one of us has our own beautiful perfume. It's your own signature that you give to the world, and that is really your gifts and your traits and your abilities. So when we're able to be very balanced in ourselves, we can then freely give our gifts out to the world. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, let me know, and sending lots of love. Bye.